17 secrets the FBI doesn't want you to know. We investigate a few of the juicier government secrets from one of the nation's most private agencies. Number 1. You can read Marilyn Monroe's FBI file online, not to mention your own. The Vault, an FBI reading room of more than 6,700 documents, contains details of investigations into Marilyn Monroe, Dick Clark, Joe Paterno, Steve Jobs, and many more people famous for everything from music and movies to organized crime. Thanks to the Freedom of Information Act, if you're curious about the dirt the FBI has on you, you're able to request the files. Number 2. Even with no arrests, your fingerprints are probably on file in Clarksburg, West Virginia. If you've had your fingerprints taken as part of a background check to, say, get a driver's license or a job or to buy a gun, the results likely live in the FBI's Integrated Automated Fingerprint Identification System, IAFIS. This database of more than 100 million fingerprints is located in a huge data campus in Clarksburg, West Virginia, about 250 miles west of the main FBI headquarters in Washington, D.C. Even with so many on file, according to the FBI, its system can match a set in about 12 minutes. Number 3. It's not a deal breaker if an agent has a past history of recreational drugs. Candidates are automatically disqualified if they smoked pot in the last 3 years, or used another illegal drug in the last 10 years. They're also dinged for having worse than 2200ths uncorrected vision. To become an FBI special agent, candidates must be between the ages of 23 and 37 and successfully complete a battery of physical tests including a timed 300-meter sprint. Women must run it in less than 65 seconds to qualify. Men, 55 seconds, and push-ups. Women must do at least 14, men, 30. If they have training in any of the 12 critical skills, including accounting, finance, or law, their application will move to the top of the pile. Number 4. The criminals on the FBI's most wanted list? They're often chosen based on looks. The most wanted list, created by J. Edgar Hoover in 1950, identifies people wanted for kidnapping, murder, theft, and other crimes. But according to New York Times reporter Michael S. Schmidt, Bureau officials try to select dangerous fugitives who could be recognized by the public because they have distinctive physical features, such as a scar, multiple tattoos, or a strangely shaped face. Number 5. The FBI didn't go digital until 2012 because of computer coding issues. You might think that the bureau responsible for national security would use the most sophisticated computers available. But until 2012, the FBI was still using paper files to track cases. The group had planned to switch to a new $425 million electronic system in 2009, but there were problems with computer coding. Finally, in August 2012, 2.5 years late, and $26 million over budget, the country's premier law enforcement agency began using the new machines. Number 6. They spent a year investigating the song Louie Louie. Remember the song Louie Louie? The song was written by Richard Berry in 1955 and later made popular by the Kingsmen and featured in the films American Graffiti and Animal House. It was also the subject of an FBI investigation that ran for more than 2 years during the mid-1960s. The concern? Whether the lyrics were dirty and pornographic. Ultimately, after spending countless time and money, the G-men determined the lyrics were unintelligible. Number 7. They were really suspicious of John Lennon. Here's one you may have heard. In 1971, Beatles member John Lennon was placed under surveillance by the FBI. Why? Because he was writing such anti-war songs as "Give Peace a Chance." Here are some more crazy conspiracy theories throughout history that turned out to be true. Number 8. Walt Disney was an informant. From 1940 until his death in 1966, Walt Disney served as a secret informer for the Los Angeles office of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, according to documents that have come to light under the Freedom of Information Act, the New York Times reported in 1993. The subject matter was un-American activities, and Disney reportedly gave up the names of several Hollywood people who were suspected of being communists. He did such a good job, he was named Full Special Agent in Charge Contact in 1954. Number 9. So was Ronald Reagan. While president of the Screen Actors Guild in 1947, Ronald Reagan was designated Source T10 by the FBI, which meant he was a confidential source with the code name T10, the New York Times reports. Documents obtained through the Freedom of Information Act indicate that Reagan and his first wife, actress Jane Wyman, provided federal agents with the names of actors they believed were communist sympathizers, according to Time in a 1985 story. Number 10. It took them a decade to locate Dorothy's ruby slippers. A pair of ruby slippers worn by Judy Garland in the film The Wizard of Oz was stolen from the Judy Garland Museum in Minnesota in 2005. One of at least 4 pairs used in the film still in existence. It must have been important. It took more than 10 years of searching and an actual sting operation for the FBI to finally locate the purloined pair. Number 11. They don't always play nicely with the CIA. Among the many controversies related to the 9/11 attacks is the fact that the government doesn't like to admit that the CIA doesn't always know how to share with the FBI. It's horrible. We still don't know what happened. Newsweek quotes one of the FBI's lead counter-terrorism agents as saying, "Here are some more things they're still not telling you about 9/11. Number 12. They investigated ESP. The FBI once spent time and money investigating extrasensory perception, especially. According to the FBI Vault, ESP is considered a perception of information about events beyond what may be discerned through the 5 physical senses or deduced from past experience or knowledge. Based on concerns ESP could be used as part of international spying, the FBI spent more than 3 years looking into the phenomenon before they concluded there was no scientific support for their concerns. Number 13. If you're lying, they'll know. If there's one thing FBI agents can tell about you, it's when you're lying. At least one 23-year FBI veteran was willing to share with INC her top 8 secret ways to spot liars, which you can read here. Learn the sneaky ways FBI agents protect their homes, too. Number 14. Except when they don't. As bright as they are about spotting liars, they weren't able to discern that one of their own, field agent Terry Alberry, had been betraying national security secrets to The Intercept, which bills itself as adversarial journalism. While Alberry claimed he was a whistleblower, just trying to do the right thing, a judge sentenced him to prison for putting the country's security at risk, according to the New York Times. Number 15. They're not above the law. In October 2018, FBI employees from a number of offices abroad had their jobs terminated following allegations of misconduct, including cavorting with prostitutes, reports ClearanceJobs, a website that provides information on people whose jobs require a security clearance. It was an avoidable embarrassment, not only to the Federal Bureau of Investigation, but to the U.S. government. Number 16. They know the secret to successful negotiations. Ex-FBI negotiator Chris Voss gave away the number 1 secret to getting your way in a negotiation. He told CNBC that there's power in patience. You've got to let the other side talk first, and you've got to make them feel in control. Number 17. Knowing your family tree could cost you your privacy. If you've ever had your DNA analyzed by a genealogy service, there's a possibility that your DNA profile could be used against you in a criminal investigation. That's how the FBI was finally able to solve the cold case of the Golden State Killer, with the help of DNA results the FBI acquired from GEDmatch, a Lake Worth, Florida-based genealogy site. The end.